The House of Representatives has officially passed the National Defense Authorization Act, and they did so with ease, 377 votes to 48. And many of the no votes actually came from progressives, which is exactly what you can expect. There were some Republicans who voted against it, but this is yet another example, in my opinion, of Democratic weakness, because there were a number of concessions from Democrats, and it's unfortunate. So let me give you all the details. First, about 41 Democrats, many of whom are progressives, voted against it, and 6 Republicans voted no. Representative Adam Smith described the process as difficult. He said, quote, "This was not an easy process. We have a divided government. We have a Republican president, a Republican Senate, and Democratic House who do not agree on a lot of issues, and those are the issues that tend to get focused on. But what this conference report reflects, for the most part, is that we do agree on a lot." Now, what do they agree on? Well, obviously increasing the federal budget toward the military. And the House passage of the NDAA comes 2 days after the compromise bill was unveiled following months of negotiations between the Democratic-led House and GOP-led Senate and the White House.
Yeah, so first of all, news stories that refer to this as a compromise bill are just doing propaganda on behalf of the Democratic Party in this case. There's almost no compromise at all here. In fact, on the issue of defense, there's literally zero compromise. Trump got everything he wanted and more. In fact, he bragged about it right afterwards. He wrote, "Wow, all of our priorities have made it into the final NDAA." He said, "I will sign this historic defense legislation immediately." So Trump is over the moon, maybe out of Space Force, saying, "Yeah, I can't believe the Democrats gave me everything in the middle of impeaching me. It's unbelievable." So theoretically, the one thing they got in return was paid family leave, but that has nothing to do with defense and would have passed easily on its own. In fact, Trump, in that same statement, bragged that he is now responsible for paid family leave, and that was his priority.
Cenk, come on, Democrats are. Look, the Democrats who agreed to this, Democratic leadership, which of course agreed to the ridiculous trade deal by Donald Trump, like they do not understand political strategy, they don't understand political optics, they don't understand political theater, they don't understand anything. They have been clobbered by the Trump administration over and over again. They keep showing up to play patty cakes with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump slaps them across the face over and over again.
Yeah, well, so the huge caveat to that. So if they're really trying to win, they have a curious way of showing it. But it depends on what you mean by win. Like for you and I, winning might be, wait, don't give Trump everything he wants. And we need a Defense Department, we need it to be strong, but do we really need to add $120 billion on top of what we were spending just a couple of years ago during the Obama administration? And how about any compromise at all on any of our issues? No, but for wins for a lot of the Democratic politicians are, what do you mean? I got all the donor money I wanted.
Exactly.
And so do the Republicans.
They are paid to lose. They're not paid to represent the best interests of the Democratic voters or progressives, right? All they do is go along with what establishment corporate Republicans want, because they're corporate Democrats. They have many of the same donors, especially when it comes to the defense industry.
I mean, look at the quote you read from Adam Smith. So Adam Smith says, we don't get enough credit. We actually agree on a lot of things. You do. Every time the donors want something, you guys all agree with Trump and the Republicans. So he's actually telling the truth about that. But the part they're not telling the truth about is when they run elections and we're gonna do resistance. When Trump asks for something, we're gonna give him $120 billion extra, right? I mean, Jesus Christ. So look, anybody who doesn't cover the core of why these bills get passed and in these outrageous ways is not doing their job as a political analyst, because you're missing the whole story. The whole reason this bill passes in a way that appears inexplicable to everyone else is because of the money, Lebowski. It's the money.
So I want to go to all the different things Democrats pretended to care about but didn't fight for, right? Because remember, Democrats control the House. So if they wanted to hold this military funding bill hostage until they got what they demanded, they could have done that easily, but they refused to do it. So every time, I just want to note, every time establishment Democrats pretend to care about social issues like the transgender community or DACA recipients, just understand that they're being disingenuous about it, okay? So let me tell you what they gave up on. The main stumbling blocks were provisions related to Trump's border wall. The original House bill would have blocked Trump from dipping into Pentagon funds for the wall after he tapped $6.1 billion from the department for his signature project. Ultimately, negotiators, meaning establishment Democrats, decided to leave out wall-related provisions, kicking the issue to the ongoing appropriations process. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, let me give you more.
Yeah, but understand that that is not something we won on. The original bill had a provision that blocked spending on the wall. The Democrats, in another concession to Trump, took out that block.
Yes.
And now it's going to be debated later.
Let me give you more. The final bill also dropped a slew of other Democratic priorities that were in the House bill, including language to reverse Trump's transgender military ban, block Trump from taking military action against Iran, and all US support for the Saudi-led war in Yemen, force the cleanup of cancer-linked forever chemicals, block the deployment of the low-yield nuclear warhead, and ban new transfers to the Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. They got nothing. Democrats who control the House didn't even really put up a fight, okay?
100%. In fact, Adam Smith then later went on to say that these are Orwellian, and Ro Khanna literally called it Orwellian. Smith said, this is the most progressive defense bill in the history of the country. Oh, come on, man. I mean, that is alternative facts. That's pulling a Trump to take everything Trump wanted. And how do I know that? Trump right afterwards said, oh my God, I got everything I wanted. It's stunning, right? And calling that the most progressive bill? No, you're the worst. It's totally, utterly unbearable.
So I want to also give credit to the strong progressives who voted no. As I mentioned earlier, Ro Khanna is one of the progressives, a Justice Democrat, who said, no, I'm not going to vote in favor of this. And AOC joined him, which is unsurprising. This is why it's so important to focus on congressional races. We need to get Congress members who are progressive, who are going to fight people like Representative Khanna and Ocasio-Cortez. So AOC tweeted, proud to join Representative Ro Khanna in voting no on the NDAA. As Ro says, when President Obama left, the US defense budget was $618 billion a year. It will now be $120 billion more than that. No pundits ask how we pay for it or blast it as free stuff. We just accept it. Pay attention.
Two legends, two Justice Democrats, 100% right. Everyone that hears the story understands that they are right. And if you're if you don't get it, it's all money in politics. You're probably scratching your head, going, why? When you have a historically unpopular president in the middle of being impeached, 70% of people think he did something wrong in Ukraine. 51% of people in every poll taken say that he should be impeached or removed from office. Historically unpopular. And the Republican Party is in shambles. And the Democrats come in and say a total and complete surrender to that pathetic party in shambles that is deeply unpopular. It is absolutely inexplicable except for the goddamn donor money. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.